Welcome back to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio, our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online donahueaccountingservice.com. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former Bearcat basketball player from 1997 to 1999, under the Hall of Fame coach, Bob Huggins.
And I'm Neil Meyer with the Front Office News.
And I'm JT Smith, editor-in-chief of the Front Office News.
Fellas, we are back for another episode. Let's jump right into it. The Bearcats are currently 12-8 after losing to Utah 66-69. This is the Bearcat game recap segment sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. JT, we need a therapy session. Thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Man, therapy session for everybody, all Bearcat Nation, staff, players. Man, everybody come on in. Big kumbaya situation right now. Going 0-2, the Utah game was the one that I thought no matter what, they would win. Watching the game, they're up. They're going to 14-0. 14-0 run just to let it slip away. Like putting quicksand in your hands, right? It just or an hourglass, turning the hourglass over. That's watching that game. That's what that was. The hourglass, and it just missing front ends of 1-and-1s, missing free throws, getting out rebounded. Flagrant 2 by Day. Just stuff just kept piling up. Yep. And it just was a team. I don't know, man. Letting Utah out rebound them by 18, was that the gap I want to say? It's just something that's, no matter how nice I try to put it, it's just something that's it's unacceptable. You can get beat on the glass, but damn, like 18 by Utah, it's not like the most athletic team we've ever seen. It's not like it's just this collection of players that just like all are just pure NBA players. And you go from winning a lot of rebounding battles against some pretty athletic teams or keeping it close to just letting them just strong arm and physically dominate you and lose the game by 3. Just think about that. Like, you rebound the ball slightly better, you win that game. Probably win that game, make some free throws, you still win that game, and they dominate you. So it's kind of one of those things, like, they kind of have to say when the buck's going to stop, for real. It's like, when is it going to stop? But that game was painful, man. It was painful. The BYU game, second half was like, what the heck? And this game was just like the salt on the wound. Like, when you think the wound is healing, every time you thought the wound was healing, somebody just like, hey, JT, come here. Throw this salt in your face. You know what I mean? I throw this salt in the wound. That's what the game was. That's the analogy. It's just every few minutes, somebody's throwing salt on the wound. You know what I mean? No Band-Aids. They just letting you. They got you like a damn, what kind of movie? I'm thinking of like some OG movies, man. Like where cats be like tied up and then they cutting people up and throwing stuff on them. You know what I mean? And trying to get the answers, and the person ain't telling the answer they getting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's what that was, man. Watching that game and listening to that game and thinking about where they messed up, that was just, as soon as you think the wound is healed, some salt's just getting thrown on it, man.
Yeah. Hey, JT, you started your take by saying quicksand going through the hand. Do you remember Gilligan's Island?
I remember it, but I didn't watch it like that. But I remember a little bit. So, like, if you have some good little lines off that one, that's gonna probably go over my head. I'm gonna pull a Neil.
Yeah. Neil, you have any idea what Gilligan's Island is?
I'm gonna assume that it's where somebody went missing.
Well, you could have been on Gilligan's Island.
You could have. You could
have. Where's Neil? When your dad texts me, hey, Neil's missing, I should have said he's on Gilligan's Island. No, Gilligan's Island, Neil, was a show where these folks were like on a ship. I don't know where they were going, and the ship wrecked, and they got stuck on this island. And one of the characters is Gilligan, and he's goofy. And so these people, which everyone was like super different and a kind of a character on Gilligan's Island. But anyway, they would have quicksand, and then like occasionally somebody would go in the quicksand and like go down and die, like one of the people that would sneak on the island. Anyway, I just was like, is quicksand a real thing or is that a made up?
No, I think it's a real thing.
I've only seen it in the movies. I mean, I hopefully I don't walk into quicksand and then something happened and it'd be a wrap. That'd be a hell of a way to die or go out. Like, yeah, man, JT, he died, man. You know, he got caught in some quicksand. Like,
that'd be crazy.
Crazy.
That tweet, like, man, R.I.P. JT, man, that quicksand got him.
That quicksand got him, man. He was out here moving too fast, moving too slow. Got caught in that quicksand.
Hey, Neil. Not a podcast goes by where you don't have a homework assignment. I want you to watch, go to YouTube and just watch a couple clips of Gilligan's Island, okay?
I got you.
All right. I don't know if I believe you, but Neil, did you ever go back and watch Cujo, Neil?
I have not yet.
Oh, man, you gotta watch it. You gotta at least watch a little bit of Cujo, man. So you see that dog.
We've overwhelmed him with so much stuff.
He got so much, man. We gotta actually go back and give him like a
back
cliff
like
notes.
I'm in school again with how many assignments y'all giving me.
Well, what I love is like I feel like Neil acts like he's writing it down,
but he ain't.
And
I did write this one down on my notes. It says, "Go watch Gilligan's Island."
He writing it down. He go like this. He be like,
yeah, he go throw it over his shoulder.
Yeah, like.
Look, I got my little poke cart in my post-it note stack over here, Meach. I'm writing.
Hey, it's like you're in class back in the day when you look like you're taking notes, but you're actually drawing like a jump man.
Yeah, you like drawing stuff. You're like, oh man, look what I drew. And you show all your friends.
You're drawing your hands.
Ask you a question on some bullshit. so oh man, you're like, yeah, Miss Johnson. I'm sorry.
All right, I guess we got to get back to talking about the Bearcats. Neil, it's like the Bearcats are in quicksand right now. Neil, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to take away from this one, JT kind of already hit on it. The rebounding margin was a lot more than people expected, 41-23, so plus 18 for Utah. And it's something that Cincinnati has kind of been struggling with, obviously 7th straight game where they have been out rebounded. I know we spoke to Wes Miller today and we kind of asked him about it. We're like, hey, like the team's getting out rebounded. Like, how do you change that kind of performance? And he said that they have went over it numerous times, especially as of late, and that has been something that they have addressed. So they are working on that aspect. Now it's going to be interesting to see how that changes into West Virginia. But on top of it, when you lose the rebounding margin by 18 and you lose by 3, you're like, okay, what else went wrong? But the biggest thing that you take away, you look down, you see, Cincinnati only had 6 turnovers in this game. So back-to-back games with 8 turnovers or less. That's a very big positive for Cincinnati. But then you look over and you see Utah had almost 20 turnovers, 19 to be exact, and you only got 21 points off of those 19 turnovers. You would have liked that number to be a little higher. If you could get that number higher and then you knock down those free throws, because, I mean, the free throws, I think, is the biggest aspect in this one, because you look down, Ezra Ausar gets the technical in the first half. Seamoss misses the front end of both. And then they get the following possession after it. They go empty on that possession. So that was the sequence where they went empty. Then you have 3 separate 1-and-1 opportunities down the stretch in the final 4 minutes where you go and you miss the front end on not 1, not 2, but all 3 of them. That could have eventually swung the game, swung some momentum into their favor as well. So there's a lot of things to kind of break down in this one. And then you have the flagrant 2 foul from Day Thomas, which not really sure what was happening on that play or where the idea was. Maybe the idea was the foul. I don't know. But can't just shoulder check somebody like that and not expect the flagrant 2 to be called. But the good part is, obviously, with flagrant 2s, anytime that happens in college basketball, they do review it and they do think about, like, okay, is this deemed an act where it could lead to a suspension, because most times now in NCAA, if you do get a flagrant 2, more than likely they'll look at it for a suspension. But talking with the UC SID, it sounds like they just ruled that an ejection because nothing really came out of it. No fight broke out of it. So you don't want to see anybody get ejected, but it's a good thing that he's still able to play versus West Virginia in a sense as well. So overall, I think it was just a lot of kind of silly mistakes for Cincinnati. Lack of discipline was a word that we could really use on that aspect, especially from the free throw line. You go without a field goal the final 4 minutes. You get out rebounded by 18. I think discipline is the right word to say. A lack of discipline is the right word to say following Utah.
This is the Bearcat game recap segment sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. So a couple things that I want to talk about. I know we mentioned we got out rebounded 41-23, right?
Yeah.
Utah has 19 turnovers. We had 6, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
So, I mean, you look at that. We always talk, Neil, you just mentioned this. Keep your turnovers under 10. We should be in good shape, which we should. And we turned them over 19 times. It's hard to believe we lost the game seeing that stat, those 2 stats alone. But then you look at rebounding. Boom. That's a big – so you've got the 2 extremes of statistics. It's just like that was such a winnable game, right? And I think you leave Utah. Okay, you lose to BYU, come out. Let's just kick Utah's ass. Like let's beat them, come home. Gabe Madsen had a good game.
Yeah.
Which for Utah is good, but if you're a Bearcats fan, you really did not want to see Gabe Madsen be the one that puts the game away for Utah, especially versus former team.
Yeah, he was cooking for a little bit there. Jizzle, JT, I know that's been your guy. I thought he did some good stuff.
Yeah, same.
Your thoughts on Jizzle?
No, I thought he played a good game, man. I think it would be more celebrated if they would have won, but on the moral side, seeing him have a solid game, that's good for the Bearcats. I thought he did well. I thought he got in that 15 plus range. Just nobody else really joined the party. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, 18. I think one other person made double figures. That's not good as a whole. Only 2 people in double figures, man. It's hard to win basketball games like that, man.
Yeah. Unfortunately, man, and that was a winnable game, and like I've said before, I worry about the player psyche. I don't think we've talked about this off the podcast. I don't think these guys have given up. Like I don't feel like the players have given up or are not trying. I just think there's a lack of confidence, and in some ways, some of the players are a little confused out there of what they should be doing. So, and listen, I know there's criticism of West. There's criticism of some players, and I think it's right now as the way it currently looks when you watch these games, I think it's a mixture of both that are at fault, and what's going on right now. They just have to figure out a way to get it going. I mean, still, my dad said this to me the other day. My dad's an OG watching sports, and he's like, "Man, it's still a long season, right? We're in dangerous territories." But he said, there's still some games to be played, and I don't know. I'm hoping they can get things turned around. Neil, JT, you think they can?
So I wish I can just be like, yes, they can turn it around. Well, I will say if they have the talent to do it, they all just got to come together, like coaching staff, players. They got to come together and fight for each other back against the wall. But I don't know. They haven't shown us anything that make me believe that. They're 2-7 now. What makes me think they're gonna go 7-2 in the next 9 games? They haven't shown me that they can do that. I hope I'm I hope I'm wrong where it can happen, because if they go 7-2, they have 500 with 2 games left in the conference, and then they got a chance to be at 500, and then you still got the Big 12 tournament that you can hang your hat on. So the closer you get to 500, the better. But I mean, as of now, man,
good point, JP.
Right? So like you gotta, like, these next 11 games is maybe they're not as, maybe they don't reverse course, but maybe they can go in the next 9, makes it 11. Maybe they can go 7-4, maybe, then you're 9-11 close. That would be a real good scenario, or better, or but you go less, maybe, I don't know, 5-5, 6-5, maybe. But if they can have a better than 500 record in the next 11 games, that would definitely give them some hope, and it should hopefully have some decent wins in there. But the time is now to get some wins. Like we were saying that when they were on 4 in conference, they got a couple, but then they went on another 3-game losing streak. So, and they got to start protecting home court. That has to start. On Sunday. Sorry for getting long with it.
What are we at home right now? What are we at home right now?
In the Big 12, I think we were 1-3.
But on the season, they are at home 8-3.
Okay.
But I'll say this: the games besides Xavier, they haven't had like legit opponents in there. So the 1-3 hits home. You know what I mean? Because all right, when it's the Morehead States of the world, yeah, you're supposed to blow them out. When it's a team that has a pulse, we gotta impose our will to say this is our house, and that's what has to happen. Arizona's a hell of a team. Bearcats, they play that first half a little bit better. That's a winnable game. They make that run on a very good team. You get that win, people are feeling a lot better. You win that game at home. Kansas, you keep them under 55 points and lose the game at home. You know what I mean? Like 55 points. They literally scored more points against Houston.
You tell me, at the beginning of the season, we hold Kansas to 54 points. I'm telling
that's
you,
a win.
Basketball game.
If you tell me that, I think we won that game by 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me we're holding Kansas under 55. I said we beat them by double digits, flat out.
Yep.
So so they gotta buckle down, man. It starts now. They gotta. West Virginia has to be a victim. They gotta make them a victim. Can't feel sorry for them being on a losing streak. Come in here, you gotta punch them in the mouth, get them out the paint, ASAP, and hopefully that starts a run, because they gotta have a mini run if they're gonna right the ship. So sorry, my bad, Neil, if I took all the points, man.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you. They have to make a run, and in order for it to happen, it's got to start now, because the schedule, you look down, West Virginia has taken on, I mean, look at the 2 teams West Virginia has beaten this season. They've beaten Kansas, and they've beaten Iowa State, arguably the 2 best teams in the Big 12 conference right now. So if
was that at Kansas?
Yeah, at Allen Fieldhouse.
Wow.
And it came down to a buzzer beater too. So overall, this is a West Virginia team where if you can get this job done on Sunday versus West Virginia, that game could be the game to where it could kind of spark momentums. But I think it's still possible for them to get back and right this ship, but they're going to have to win and get back to close to 500, just about as close as possible. I mean, they're sitting 2-7 right now. I mean, you would love to see them finish 10-10, 11-9, but West Virginia, UCF, BYU, Utah, this 4 stretch is going to be it for Cincinnati. And it's going to be starting with these first 2, essentially, because then you think if they're going to get back onto NCAA tournament trajectory, it starts with West Virginia. You're going to have to go on the road at UCF. You still have the road game versus Iowa State. You're going to have to go on the road again to West Virginia and Houston. So it's basically going to come down to you're going to have to steal 1 or 2 of these games on the road and protect your home court. And if they protect home court versus teams like BYU and Utah, who they should protect home court for, that could kind of be the momentum builder they need. But it's still possible. for them to make it. I mean, we've seen it in years past where teams in the Big 12 make the NCAA tournament sitting at a 500 record or a 9-11 or a 9, well, when it was 18 games, a 9-9 conference record. But I think this is where that 20 games kind of plays into factor, but they do have to get back to just about as close to 500 in conference play as possible if they want to keep this thing alive.
The Bearcat game recap segment is sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. The Purple Monkey Project was formed following the tragic loss of 10-year-old Reagan Vanas in May of 2021. Reagan was a ray of sunshine who lit up every room. The Purple Monkey Project is named after Reagan's favorite stuffed animal and seeks to keep Reagan's spirit alive by being a ray of light in the community and promoting random acts of kindness. By providing scholarships and other financial support of youth and youth-centered charities in Southwest Ohio, the Purple Monkey Project seeks to pay it forward, all in the name of Reagan. To learn more about the Purple Monkey Project, please visit purplemonkeyproject.org or visit them on Facebook at Purple Monkey Project. Now, this Sunday at 2 p.m., the Bearcats take on West Virginia in the beautiful Fifth Third Arena. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Let's jump right into the Big O segment sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. In this segment, we cover players to watch in key matchups. JT, who are you expecting a big game from?
All right, man. So I'm spinning the corner. I'm swerving. Swerving, hit the corner. Swerving, hitting the corner. Whoa. You know what I mean? Whoa. Nah, but I'm spinning the block.
Hey, did you see you drop the video today?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I literally, before we start doing the pod, it popped up on my phone. I'm like, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Is it like on a Hummer? Is that a Hummer that they're driving in?
It was some sort of Jeep. I don't know, because
I have to check it out. I'm gonna check it out after the pod while I'm editing. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm spinning the block, man. We going with Jizzle, man. He had 18 points, I think 3 assists. Shot the ball pretty well, at Utah. Let's go, come home, 15 plus points. I like to see him get to 20 to 24, man. Let's go for it. And that should hopefully help get the Bearcats a dub.
I think Jizzle's just kind of got to say, team struggling, fuck it, I'm going.
Yep. Yeah, play off me, man. Follow me, because he can get his shot. Like, even when he was struggling, he was getting good shots. So I can roll with that.
He really was. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've only, all year, I think he's probably only taken, at least at home, probably 4 or 5 bad shots to me. Very minimal for the volume he shot at. But now it's just time to turn up and go for it. Yeah, 18. Let's go ahead and get 20 to 25 this game.
Yep, totally agree. Neil,
yep.
Let's talk about who you want to look out for the Bearcats and West Virginia.
Yeah, so for Cincinnati, I want to see Dylan Mitchell kind of have a big bounce back game. I know we've kind of talked about it off the record. I want to see this be a game where Dylan Mitchell goes for 12-8 or 12-9 versus West Virginia. I think this is a game where Cincinnati is going to need to kind of establish that, and they're going to make a presence on the boards. I think it's about that kind of effort where if he can get you 9 rebounds a game, which is something he's capable of doing, he's done it multiple times this season. But for Cincinnati, they're going to need a guy that can go in there and crash the boards and just grab anything on the glass in order to get some offense created, keep possessions alive. I think this could be the game where Dylan Mitchell breaks out. I mean, we've seen flashes of it throughout the season, but with them struggling to rebound the ball, I think this is the game where Dylan Mitchell, a veteran guy, comes in. He's been in this situation before, obviously playing in the Big 12, knows what it's like in this conference. I think this is the game where I'm thinking Dylan Mitchell could go for a 12-8 performance or a 12-9, maybe kind of float and flirt with that double-double mark. But that's who I'm watching out for on Cincinnati. Then you turn the page and you look to West Virginia. I mean, their offense, everything revolves around Javon Small, the point guard, a guy UC is very familiar with. I mean, you look back, Javon Small, Cincinnati has been playing against Javon Small since 2021. This is the guy who started his career at ECU, and he's now on his 3rd school. He went from ECU to Oklahoma State last year, and then now at West Virginia, and he leads the team in scoring. He's averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, the best season of his career. But this is a guy who's had tremendous success for Cincinnati in recent years, dating back to 2023. I mean, in 2023, he finished with 23 versus Cincinnati in the AAC. Last year versus Oklahoma State, he finished with another 20 ball. This is a guy who's a pure scorer and is going to give Cincinnati trouble. A 6'4" guard who can do just about anything. He's really good at creating his own shot, but he's going to be the guy that leads West Virginia, especially with Tucker DeVries out with injury, who has been out for injury with the past 2 months. So he's really been the guy that's like taken over for West Virginia. It's not, they don't have Tucker DeVries on the outside to really kind of play off of Javon Small. So Javon Small's got a lot to kind of deal with. He's the guy for West Virginia. So that's who I'm looking out for in this game. It's Javon Small for West Virginia, and then for Cincinnati, Dylan Mitchell.
To talk about your Dylan Mitchell, if you go back to, I guess, one of our first or second podcasts that we did, I was totally wrong. 100% wrong. I felt like Dylan Mitchell was going to be that guy this year that when we needed a bucket, he was going to go get a bucket.
Yeah.
And I've been wrong about that. And maybe it's do I think he has the ability? Absolutely. But I think defenses started to figure him out a little bit more. He's not going to shoot the basketball from outside as well. Occasionally he's made some threes. Like, what was the game he hit a three and I'm like, no, don't shoot it, and it went in.
Yeah, I forgot what game it was, but the corner.
Yeah, the corner three. It was early in conference play.
Xavier? Did he have one against Xavier? Or was that?
I wouldn't say. Was it Arizona?
It could have been.
I think it was Arizona.
It was a big game.
I think he hit one versus Xavier and Arizona, if I remember right.
Okay.
I think it was Arizona because he had one that he shot probably not the corner. I think he made the one from the corner, but it was a face-up kind of three he missed. And I feel like it was a fan. Like, I was going back and forth with a fan. He was just not in the stadium, but on Twitter or whatnot. And I was just like, that's not the shot. That's not really the shot. The defense is happy he's shooting that. Not a diss to him. You know what I mean? Like, the defense is happy. He's like, I need to shoot it. I'm like, okay, I feel you at times, but that wasn't the shot we needed right there. But I'm like, trust me, like, he's so athletic. Like, when he's shooting that jumper, they're happy. You know what I mean? But I think it was Arizona because that person was in my mentions for a couple hours. It was great.
Yeah, I was hoping that he would be that guy that, okay, the defense is playing us tough. We're struggling a little bit on offense, which naturally happens in a college basketball season, and we need that guy, kind of that alpha, to take that basketball and go to work. And he's just not been able to do that to the level I was hoping for. The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. I'm sorry, JT, do you want to say something else?
Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good. No, 100%. I thought because he has the potential. I thought his skill around the rim, I thought he'll be able to get him a bucket here and there, and then, paint touches and stuff too. Like you said, I totally agree with you on that. I thought he would be the one that the blood stopper or the run stopper. I thought he would be that run stopper guy.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt. Well, hey, for this game, I'm gonna roll with CMOS. I'm going to Bearcat practice tomorrow, and I feel terrible because you guys know this. During the course of a Bearcat basketball season, I try to go to at least a practice once a week. Usually Friday, because what happens is I've got to go out and watch high school games on Friday for high school basketball. So because I usually don't make freshman games, but JV starts at 6, so I'll go to Bearcat basketball practice and then boom, head off to a high school game. So I'm able to get down there. But the way my schedule's been, I've missed a ton of practices for the Bearcats. The crazy thing about it is when they started losing, I haven't been to practice. So I was like, damn, I'm going to pull up tomorrow and I don't want them to think I'm not showing up because I'm not happy or something like that.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
And not that they're thinking about me or anything like that, but I had I was always there prior to that, I was talking with players, before, after practice, chopping it
Yeah.
up. So yeah, I gotta make sure I get down there. So I'm gonna say something to CMOS. I'm like, bro, I need you to step it up, bro.
Yeah.
Because we're 41 brothers, right?
Yeah,
Number
for sure.
41. And he's got to step it up. I need to see him play better the rest of the season. So I'm gonna roll with CMOS. So hopefully he gets it done. If he does get it done, it's because I had a stern talking to him. Okay, a stern talking, like pointing in his chest because he's bigger than me.
Pointing at his chest.
Pointing at his pointing. Now he's a great young man. I like CMOS a lot. So the Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Do you have a business that needs better inventory control, production management, or approved accounting control? Outgrown QuickBooks or can't afford NetSuite? Give loyal Bearcat grads Doug and Kathy Jacobs at Smart Dog Solutions a call. They've been in your position and would love to help solve your problems. They can be contacted at 513-739-9473 or online at smartdog-solutions.com. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. And ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. One of our favorite segments, which is now sponsored. It is the name game with the one and only Neil Meyer, sponsored by Oakley Greens. Hit him, Neil. Get him.
Hey.
You know what, Neil? You gotta do a little wind it up and throw it. Let's. Oh! I don't know what was that? Hey,
the club
JT,
going up.
The what? That's the club going up.
Club going up.
I've never seen anybody do that before.
Oh man,
good for you. You created something new, Neil. If that takes off, you get credit for it. Okay.
We're gonna see it become a meme.
Yeah, I hope so. The name game with Neil Meyer is sponsored by Oakley Greens. All right, let's jump into the name game. This is where we look at the opposing team that the Bearcats are playing. In this case, it's West Virginia. We take a look at the names of the team or the players on the team and the roster. Sometimes the names are a little bit different. Sometimes they're just cool. Sometimes they're just fun to say. So let's start with the first one, Neil. And you know, with this name, I feel like this player's name should actually be it should be it sounds like it's backwards. You know what I'm talking about? Number 0.
Number 0 is Eduardo Andre. It's definitely what should be flipped, if you ask me.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with you. Eduardo.
Andre being the last name.
It's
I wonder if his family got anything, like if they drink Andre.
Wait a minute. What's Andre?
You ever seen? It's like cheap. Is that Andre is like cheap champagne?
Is it? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's real bottom. It's real bottom barrel.
Bottom barrel.
If somebody give you some Andre, bro, just say no.
Hey man, got some of that Dre. No.
I got that Dre for you. You gonna be like, nah, I'm cool. Just don't even try to fit in. Don't try to be social about it. Just say no.
Let the peer pressure get you.
Yeah, don't let that happen, man. I'm just throwing that out there for y'all.
Stay away from the Andre. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look for this. It's probably available in gas stations in Kentucky. So next time, I'll definitely stop in.
Nah, you definitely find some Andre, man. You definitely.
That's funny. All right, Neil. Number 1. I just like the last name.
Number 1 is Joseph Yesefu.
Yeah, that's tight.
It was tough. Okay. Number 4.
Number 4 is actually a pretty unique story for West Virginia because he plays football as well. His name is Aiden Tagaloa Nelson.
So wait, he's on the football team and basketball team. Was he a football scholarship guy and walked on the hoops, or vice versa?
He was a football scholarship guy, and then when injuries happened last year with Josh Eiler, he walked on as a walk-on, and Coach DeVries kind of kept him around.
Man, sounds like back in the day with the Bearcats. Brad Jackson, Brent Petrus, Connor Barwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, Travis Kelce should have been one. He was supposed to play basketball. You guys know that?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
That would have been
Nah.
crazy.
Travis Kelce was supposed to play basketball.
Really?
Yep. Another story for another podcast. All right. Number 9. Here we go.
Number 9 is Offrey Neve, and he's actually redshirting this year for West Virginia, so he won't even be playing.
Where's he from?
Offrey.
He is from Neot Golan, Israel.
Neot
Golan.
Neot. And Offrey. That's an interesting first name. Offrey. I didn't have him on my list, but this guy, number 10's name is Sincere. I just talked to a girl today whose name's Sincere. That's funny.
Really?
Number 15.
Number 15 for West Virginia is Abraham Oyedeer.
Say that last name again.
Oyedeer.
Oyedeer.
Damn, that's a hell of a name, man.
And he is from Accra, Ghana, where he attended the Academy of Sports Science High School.
Ooh,
out in California.
I could have done well there. I might have got some good. He's from what part of Ghana is he from?
Accra, Accra.
Interesting.
Accra.
All right, last not least, number 22.
Number 22 for West Virginia is Harris Elizovic.
That was good. You did a good job. Where's he from?
Sherbrooke, Quebec in Canada.
Man, isn't it crazy, like, just how many of these, just foreign players there are in college basketball? I mean, think about we've had, I don't know how many games of the name game we've done. I mean, the countries these guys are from.
Yeah.
Man, basketball has improved so much around the world, JT. So much.
It's true. Back in the day, you'd just be like, not to be weird, like you'd just be like if you were from like Africa, you probably were a big man, wing, just rebound a lot, dunk. You probably got like Russia. They probably had like they probably had like the more skilled players, I think, coming up. Maybe like Germany in that area. But yeah, the way it's taking off, man, it's like everybody's like coming to the States, man. They balling legit. Yeah, just the dream team, man. All spawned from the dream team. I don't care what anybody says.
Man, no, I hear you on that. And the other thing too with international basketball, a lot of these players are playing professionally at such a young age. You look at Luka. Luka was playing professionally at 13 years old. So
crazy, man.
By the time he's eligible for the draft to go to the NBA, like, he's more prepared than a lot of guys because he's played at a professional level. And the international game is played, I think, at a more of a cerebral level than it is in athletic. So, a lot of pick and rolls, pick and pop, learn how to read those things instead of pushing it, lobbing it up. You know what I mean? A lot of reads. So I think some of them come in better prepared, understanding. I mean, you guys have seen probably interviews with Luka at the NBA level, and he's just like, when I first got here, I did not think the NBA was very tough to me. I've played professionally. Yeah. I always thought that was fascinating. Like, he just wasn't fazed by it.
Yeah. Yep.
Look at Wemby's. I'm telling you right now, people have not. A lot of people I talk to, just casual basketball people, are not watching Wemby, and I'm like, you need to watch this guy. We've never seen anything like this.
It's funny you mentioned Wemby, Meach, because when Wemby was going through the draft process, like when he first started making the hype to the NBA, me and JT were watching his highlights, and we actually talked to our good friend Chris Lepore off the record about this, and we're like, dude, there's nobody like Wemby in the NBA or to ever play the game. And Chris was like, to see somebody
Wemby is crazy, man.
7'3" with his kind of handles, his ability to alter the game. I mean, think about it. You're 7'3", right? Who would think you would be pulling up from 30 feet, knocking down threes? Nobody. But he does it with such ease and such confidence. Like, he's probably putting himself, if he continues at this trajectory, he could find himself as one of the greatest to ever play the game in the NBA.
He will be the MVP of the NBA at some point.
Yeah,
for sure.
And here's the crazy thing to think about: who will be the next American MVP? Because, I mean, what are we looking at? Who was last year's MVP?
Wasn't Tatum, was it?
No, it wasn't Tatum. Who was last year's MVP?
No, that was in the finals. It was Jaylen Brown.
Last year was Jokic.
Jokic, foreign.
He won last year?
Yeah, he was. Who was the year before?
The year before was Embiid.
Then I thought Joker won before.
Joker won it 2 more years ahead of that.
Then Giannis won 2 in a row, I think.
Who's our next? I mean, I don't know if you count Embiid as an American player, but he's technically foreign. But whatever. He could
think about it. The last American player to win the MVP in the NBA was 2017 to 2018, and that was James Harden.
Dang.
Giannis won it back-to-back. Jokic has won 3 of the last 4, and then Embiid won it.
Ant-Man may win 1.
I think that's a good call. I didn't think about that.
Ant-Man may win 1.
Yeah.
Tatum can, but I think his team is too good for him to win it.
Yeah, he just is not, and not to turn this into a NBA podcast, but I don't know. Tatum is a good player, but he doesn't have that like dog.
He don't impose his will on him. I think his team is too. I'm telling you, he's a victim of his team.
I'd agree with that.
Being so good, I think. If you take away a couple of those pieces where he had to show up I don't think you do it because you're Boston. Yeah, I think the team's so talented. Like he can sometimes he can coast, and when you're the MVP, you can't coast. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you've got to be. So, but I think Jaylen Brown has that dog mentality.
He does. Yeah, he does. He got that effort.
He does.
Like he was guarding Luka full court in the finals. That's crazy. In the finals?
Yeah.
Like,
he definitely has that dog mentality. But
yeah.
I don't know. Wemby's going to win it at some point. I've seen him. Wemby push it in transition, do like a Euro step and like finger roll it from like the free. It's like, what is going on here? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. I watched it.
Remember the Space Jam? I'm just like, man, this is wild stuff. But it's just these international players coming in, man, and listen, Wes has to, they've got to get a good pulse on foreign players as well.
Yeah,
start over, because that's where a lot of talent. Hey, real quick, I just noticed on West Virginia's roster, Jonathan Powell's on there.
Yeah, he was a guy that was committed to Xavier and then flipped.
Yep. I know. I know Jonathan Powell. He played at Centerville. I didn't realize he was at West Virginia. Has he played much this year, Neil? Because
he's played in every game. He's averaging nearly 10 points a game.
Dang, that's crazy. Because he was he was a
top
good
50 recruit.
Huh?
He was a top 50 recruit.
Yeah. That was a big loss for Xavier. I know
he was committed to Xavier until the coaching change.
Yeah, that was a big get. Yep.
Just
reminded. What's that?
The sincere kid is from he went to St. Vincent St. Mary.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I remember him. He was pretty highly recruited. He went to Illinois first. I didn't realize he was on West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I just want to remind Bearcat fans out there that we will be doing a live podcast from Oakley Greens on February 15th at 3 p.m. We'll do it 1 hour before the tip-off of the Bearcats at Iowa State game. And listen, Bearcat fans out there, if you want to show up to the pod, we will give you the mic at some point, and you can voice your frustration if the Bearcats don't go on a run between now and then. If you want to, have a therapy session, JT could be Dr. Phil. We could have a little session. What do you think, JT?
Hey, we make something work, man. Because everybody probably gonna need this session. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully it's more of a positive. Like, by then they don't want a few,
so.
And then we can be like, oh yeah, but we're still talking about they're still battling up to getting out that grave. You know what I mean? Trying to pull an Undertaker.
Yeah.
I know those memes when Undertaker pops out the casket.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For
trying
sure.
to get out the casket, man. they trying to lock this in, man.
I will say this, JT. Even if we go on a run and we do play well leading up to the Iowa State game, people are still going to be complaining about
for sure.
Conference race. So there'll still be a need for a therapy session. And when we do our show, you got to get JT a cup of something. You got to have a.
Oh yeah, I'll have a cup. I'm gonna need. They better play Iowa State that day, man. I'm gonna need cups.
We're gonna do a good plural. Oh, again, we will be live at Oakley Greens on February 15th at 3 p.m. Oakley Greens, the ultimate spot to catch your hometown team for every big game. With 6 giant LED screens and TVs at every angle, it's more than a sports bar. It's your entertainment headquarters. All the sports, all the time, all at Oakley Greens. Located in Oakley Station next to the cinemas. Their website is oakleygreens.com. The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota. This is where we cover the keys to the game. JT, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Man, okay, so much, but you can so many amendments, but I can only choose one.
Pick one of the 150 things.
Yep. So many, man, but I can only choose one. Man. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Man, I'm gonna have to ask Neil if he watched the Chappelle show or not before.
Wait, Neil.
I've watched Dave Chappelle a little bit.
What's your favorite
the show?
skit?
Oh, the show, like that actual show. I haven't watched the show. I've just watched a little bit of skits from him.
You've never seen the Chappelle show, like his show from back in the day?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, you've missed probably the greatest sketch comedy show of all time. JT.
Yeah, 100%. That was a playoff that, man. Like 4, 5, 5. No, but
Neil, you got another homework assignment. Write that down.
Write that down, man. Don't throw it over your shoulder this time, man. You gotta keep this.
Yeah.
Keep this one. All right. So as I'll bring it back. My bad, man. I got off track. Yep. They gotta be physically and mentally tough against West Virginia, and I say that that's making that free throw. That front end of the 1-and-1, at least getting one of the two, right? That's getting those rebounds, getting that loose ball that can, lead to a fast break or stop them from scoring. It just has to happen, man. Execution, not getting called for a flagrant foul. Those things, it has to, get shorn up. And against West Virginia, it can't happen because if they got to win, man. They have to win. And I feel like I've been saying this, the last few games, they got to win. But if they're going to right the ship or even give fans some glimmer of hope, this is the game they got to start with, man. And showing toughness and mental, they got to show I don't think the team's giving up. So if they do this, I think they'll have a chance to get a dub, man. But they got to come out want it and show they want it physically and mentally. So.
Hey, JT, let me ask you, how do you think the Bearcat crowd will be on Sunday?
I was talking about that after the BYU game, like off the record. I'm nervous. I think they'll be there. I just don't. I think I'm hoping they play well, so then the fans are like trying to give them that extra boost. But I think if the Bearcats go down double digits or 8 to 12 points in that range, man, I wouldn't be shocked if fans start booing or even worse, walk out. Because like after that game, what was the last game that was at home? Kansas. Was that no, not Kansas.
Texas
Tech. Texas Tech. The fans, like once the buzzer sound, I've never seen the arena get empty so fast. All my years covering the team. Once that buzzer sound, it was empty. It was like boom.
Gonzo.
So I don't want that to happen because then that's just going to be a microcosm of the season, man. So I hope the Bearcats can play good and give the fans something to cheer about. And the Fifth Third is rocking, because when Fifth Third is rocking, it's a special place. But I don't want Fifth Third to turn into a ghost town or where it's spotty. Because I think against Texas Tech, if some people it wasn't as full as normal either.
The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Neil, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Yeah, before I give my keys to the game there for them to win, I'm going to piggyback off of what JT said. And it's kind of interesting that JT brought that up, because Wes Miller even noted it in his post-game press or his weekly press conference today, that they are still looking for guys to maybe play and find a higher level of quote-unquote competitive character, is what he described it as. He says, I think that is an area that can take a massive leap for our team, and we'll challenge those guys on that aspect. But he said it is due now for multiple guys to play well in one night. It will come together soon where they play collectively and confident together. So that aspect, on top of what JT said, is kind of a great point for what JT's trying to say for the keys to the game, is they got to play together collectively, and they got to show the competitive character here versus West Virginia. So for me, my keys to the game simply is rebounding. I think this is a game. We heard the frustrations from Coach Miller today about rebounding the basketball. We've seen the frustrations from fans. You get out-rebounded by 18 versus Utah. My keys to the game is simply rebound the basketball. Even if you lose the margin, you want that margin to be closer. But if they can win the rebounding margin, I think that sets a standard for Cincinnati heading down to this, what could be the most important stretch of the season.
Yeah, for me, fellas, I'm going to go with defense. I just think, you think about Cincinnati, just the city in general, very blue-collar town. So I think we need to get back to that blue-collar work, focus in on defense, lock West Virginia down. I want to see us pressure the guards, get some easy steals. Usually when we play solid defense, get some steals, usually leads to transition dunks. See Dylan Mitchell take off, get some lobs going. But I think that's all going to start on the defensive end. And that will, I think, ignite the crowd. I think that's what the crowd wants to see. Of course, offensively, we need to make more shots and all that. But I think fans will be happy. Obviously, they won't be happy if we lose, but happy with us playing with so much effort, like showing that. And you made a point, JT. I don't think this team has given up. I don't think these players have given up. I think it's important that the fans know that, and how the players can show that will be on the defensive end. So, and the last thing I want to say is we just got to figure this shit out, man.
Man.
Figure this shit out and get a dub, man. Get going. Team's too talented. I think that's why these fans are so frustrated, man. This team's too damn talented to be playing like this.
That's the thing. Like when it comes, like I literally said it. I'm like, when you watch them play in the non-conference, build up, like everybody felt the same way. Like this team was a tournament team, top tier team in the Big 12, and I mean, just other media voted. I mean, they were picked to finish sixth in the Big 12, and the Big 12 is a hell of a conference. That's a top tier, top third team, and for them to be right there, and I think that's why we're like frustrated. People are frustrated per se. They have a right to be frustrated, and that's why, like, when we're saying stuff, we sound like a broken record, because it's like if they weren't that good, we'll just be like, hey, this team doesn't have the talent yet. This isn't where they're not ready yet. blah, 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 right? This team they just gotta, they just gotta figure this shit out. Like you said, they gotta figure it out. And they can't like take one step back in something else and take 3 steps back in another part either. Like it seems like when the offense is doing good, defense is lacking. If the defense is doing great, then offense just falls off a cliff. You know what I mean? Like they gotta piece it together and just be solid at everything. You don't have to be great at everything, just be solid at everything. And I think that's when they will be their best.
Well, hopefully they put it together on Sunday. Yeah. The Kenyon segment, Keys to the Game, was sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Come see fellow Bearcat Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota for all your new and pre-owned Toyota needs. Look for Greg Hooden on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Greg Hooden. Hooden is spelled Hoodin. Or come see Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Always ready to help our Bearcat family get into a new Toyota. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. This is where we cover hot topics. All right, fellas, quick. This is a pretty easy one. It is, who would you rather go to dinner with, and they're paying for dinner. Restaurant is Jeff Ruby's, okay? You can sit down, just you and them, have a great conversation, stories, ask them anything you want. If you had a chance to go to dinner, would you go with Ellie De La Cruz, Reds superstar player, and probably if he stays on his trajectory, he could eventually get a contract like Juan Soto one day.
Yeah.
Right? Would you agree with that,
sure.
JT?
Might even be higher than what Soto got.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Or Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow smoking on that Joe
Burrow. Ellie De La Cruz, Joe Burrow, Travis Kelce, or his brother, Jason Kelce. JT, we'll start with you.
All right. I'm going Ellie, man. I'm going Ellie.
Ooh, okay. Why's that?
Yeah. Because, man, I be seeing, like, I like the other people, don't get me wrong. Like, but, like, when I go outside occasionally, I done seen Ellie be around people that I know. You know what I mean? So, just like he seemed like he fit in. He don't seem like he try to superstar you or anything like that. Seemed like a real cool guy. So,
you seen him out and about?
Yeah. Like I went to the sneaker ball last year before, and he was there. He came in there late. He was in there kicking it.
Okay.
He was in there kicking it. He wasn't doing nothing crazy. He was just in there having a good time. So, you know what I mean, amongst the people. When it was in Covington. So that's cool. And then my son likes baseball, so you know what I mean. So that that tie in, you know what I mean. If I met him, he'd probably be like, "Oh, man, you met Ellie? Well, what's up? That's cool." But
you got to take him with you. You have to take him with you.
Yeah, I could. You know what I mean?
I could.
I don't know.
Sounds like he doesn't want to, Neil. But
I'll take him. It's all good.
Hey, and at Jeff Ruby's, they do the shoe cakes.
Yeah.
Okay, what shoe cake would you get?
It depends because they got different. Because like sometimes they change the shoe.
Well, I'm saying you could get any shoe cake, not flavor, but style.
The style.
Correct.
I don't know because I had a 3 before. I'll probably go 8. I want to see how they make the 8.
A Jordan 8? Wow.
Yeah.
The high top joint.
Yeah. Go to 8 the strap. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
Go to 8.
Dinner with Ellie. I like it. Neil?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Joe Burrow for this one. Obviously, we're talking about Jeff Ruby's. Reason I say that is I need to experience the steak burrow with the man himself, if that makes sense, because he's got his own steak named after him. I need to see if he's going down there. Not only is he going to eat the steak that's named after himself, but I feel like that would be a good conversation and a good outlook too, because like obviously Joe Burrow's a guy who goes out pretty frequently, but knowing that, I think that could be a good conversation. And obviously I think that's where he takes most of the free agents that come to visit Cincinnati. So on top of that, I feel like that could be a good conversation, good hangout. But for me, I need to see what that steak Burrow's about. So why not enjoy it with the man himself? So if this gets back to Joe Burrow at some point, I'm just saying, why not make that happen, right?
I got you. I feel like there was a pause somewhere in there, but
Yeah.
I feel there was. I wasn't sure the moment you were like, gotta have that steak Burrow with the man. I feel like there was a pause. But
It was close. I know.
It was close. It was close. I thought you were good. I'll leave that alone. Okay, so have either one of you seen Joe Burrow out on
So I've seen him once, but it was from kind of like a distance, if that makes sense. So all my friends are working that kind of industry downtown at the bars and whatnot. So then one of them's actually a GM at a bar down in the Central Business District, and Joe Burrow and Sam Hubbard actually came in and rented the top out, like the top part of the bar, one night while we were down there. But that was the closest anybody's seen from Joe Burrow that I've seen in public.
JT, you?
No, I haven't seen him out, man. I haven't seen him out. I've seen Jamar and T.
I actually saw Jamar and T.
Jamar and T, they be out.
Jamar and T be active.
Shoot, they might be out right now. Let me look at the clock.
They might be, man.
I sent JT a picture. I was out at the bar where I saw Joe Burrow and Sam at. I saw them in the summer, but it was like the week before the Pittsburgh game. It was after UC played. It was like midnight. I texted JT a picture, and Jamar Chase was right behind me drinking with T. Higgins and a couple other people out at the bar. And I was like, man, shouldn't they be preparing for Pittsburgh right now? They ended up going on to beat Pittsburgh, but those two are always out.
They stay out. Joe Burrow's pretty private. He's a pretty private person, so it doesn't surprise that not a lot of people have seen him out. The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. All right, so hey, listen, I think those were all good ones. Ellie for JT, Neil, Joe Burrow. I'm gonna roll with Travis Kelce, and the reason is because you look at a dinner, you want to hear great stories, right? You want to have somebody that gives you some good personality, and I think Travis, has that. I think it'd be very, very entertaining. Like, and Neil, nothing against Joe Burrow, but he's so quiet. Like, I feel like the conversation would. I feel like I'd have to lead the conversation. He wouldn't give me everything because he wouldn't give all the information out because he's so private.
With Travis, you never know what he's going to do. He might go down to Jeff Ruby's and be shotgunning a beer on the table or something.
That's what I'm talking about. So you got to pull up. You got to pull up with Trav. We might FaceTime Tay-Tay. So it's like, hey, let's FaceTime her. Holler at Tay-Tay. And Travis is a big hoops fan, so we could, rap a little bit about hoops. So, and I've met Ellie before, JT. I was at an event. I think we talked about this before. I got to hang out with him in the kitchen. Actually, we were in the back of one of Ruby's restaurants in the kitchen. I got to know Ellie's agent pretty well, Alex, the same guy that worked the Juan Soto deal.
Oh, word, dang.
He's good people, man. He's from Miami, Florida. I met him at this event, and we exchanged numbers, and we've stayed in touch, man. Really, really good dude. But I'd have to roll with Travis Kelce in this situation, fellas. And the cake I would get, I forgot to ask you this, Neil. We'll go to you here in a sec. I would get the Jordan 5 cake.
Okay.
Jordan 5 is my favorite shoe. So, Neil, you?
Yeah, I would have to go with the Jordan 4s.
Ooh, look at me. I thought you were going to say like some Skechers or some.
So you're going to try to say some Joel Embiid?
I was thinking, are you sure it wasn't the Master P's?
Oh, a Master P shoe cake?
Hey,
that
man.
Would be crazy.
Hey.
Wow, that would be. What are those joints called again?
He got some money yachties, and he got some Converse too. The original ones are the Converse.
The originals are
the Converse. If they made those, it might just like come out, and as soon as they take it out the case, it might just like implode. It might be like Inspector Gadget. You got so much time.
If Master P comes back to Cincinnati and he goes out and has dinner at Jeff Ruby's, they have to do one of his shoes for the cake. Because remember, his son played for Xavier for that year.
Yeah.
Remember?
And his other son plays for Houston.
Yeah, that's right. He's the better player of the two, I believe.
Yeah. So
and you guys,
So if he could, I mean, next year, I don't think they'll be here this year, but next year, if he's still there, you know,
make that happen.
Ruby got to make it happen, man.
Yeah, my buddy was on staff at Xavier when Master P's son played there, and I would always hit up my buddy like, "Hey, look, I'm a UC guy, but when Master P comes through practice or games, hey, hit me up. I'm coming to the game." He did hit me up. He was like, "Hey, P's on campus right now." Pause. He's like, "Master P's on campus right now." I was doing something else, but he was literally on Xavier's campus, just hanging out.
That's tight.
Yeah, I love to.
Tight.
He's a character. He is a character.
Legend, man. Living legend, man.
Yeah, living legend. The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Visionary Cleaners is a locally owned company by former Bearcat student athletes. They specialize in high-quality commercial cleaning of businesses, apartments, and pre- and post-construction cleans. They can be reached at 513-388-7816 or contacted online, visionarycleaners.com. Fellas, this concludes another great podcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Donahue Accounting Services, Smart Dog Solutions, Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota, Visionary Cleaners, the Purple Monkey Project, and Oakley Greens. Before we get out of here, fellas, I always like to throw something at you all. I can't eat it, but have you guys had, I feel like Neil had, the Skyline ice cream?
Absolutely not. I'm not even touching that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I feel like Neil, you're a guy like, yeah, I'm about to go. JT?
I don't even eat Skyline like that. I ain't touching either of those.
Wow. Yeah, I can't. Somebody had to trick me on that one. I'll let my kids or something try, but nah, I
like cool. My stomach too much to be eating Skyline.
I'm cool on that. Skyline ice cream? Don't. How high was the person that the people at Skyline that said, "F it, we about to do this"? You know how high they were?
They had to be high as hell.
Like, come on now.
Joe Burrow.
That Joe Burrow, that real Burrow. Smoking on that. They was smoking on that Bengals pack for real. Because, like, who said, you know, we about to wake up, fuck the chili. Let's make some ice cream.
Fuck the chili.
Like, that's what they said. The chili.
You know what?
Hey, it was selling out of restaurants and grocery stores like crazy.
Here's the genius thing about this, though. You always hear, and this happened to Michael Jordan for a long time. Now, notice if you go back and you look at the Jordan sneakers, right? Start with Jordan 2, not the Jordan 1. Start Jordan 2 through, let's just say 10.
Okay.
Every single Jordan was vastly different than the one previously.
Yeah.
So the Jordan 3 was way different than the 2.
Yeah.
The 4 was way different than the, right?
Yeah.
On down the line, all the way up to the 10. And when they first came out, people always said, those are ugly. I'll never get them. And what happens? They sell out. They see them on Michael Jordan's foot. And sometimes things have to be sometimes so out there, polarizing, it makes people want to go out and get it. I think the ice cream was so polarizing. If it was just like some normal ice cream, people would make a big buzz. But it's like, Skyline has ice cream? That's great. I can't believe that. People are buying it.
People are buying it. I mean, it's genius because people are buying it. I see mad people posting it, but you ain't worried about JT buying it.
Skyline's been low-key creative in the last year because they started making breakfast food.
Hey, Skyline breakfast is diabolical, man. I don't even know what they offering. Like Skyline breakfast is
diabolical in general. So I mean,
it's diabolical, dog. Like I ain't mad at them. Get your money, man. Don't want your stuff to close. You want people to get paid. You ain't never gonna catch me getting no Skyline. I ain't buying no Skyline ice cream. I damn sure ain't buying no Skyline breakfast.
What about your kids?
And my kids, that's on them. I'm gonna try to steer them in the way of, hey, that's not a smart choice, probably.
Hey,
Get you a 3-way, or, you know what I mean, pause or whatever, you know what I mean, whatever you want, 4-way, whatever. But you know, chili dog, something. But come on, man, that ice cream, that sound like Rhea. Sound like my girl calling my girl Rhea.
Crazy work.
Crazy.
Were you saying you would try it, or you wouldn't? You can't try it, right?
I can't. Yeah, I'm vegan, so I can't eat it.
Go ahead, man. You go ahead and try it, man.
I'm not breaking my vegan thing to try that.
It'll be meats that went missing and not me.
Oh yeah,
that would have me in quicksand for real.
No, for sure, you'd be down bad.
Going down bad. Yeah. I heard it. They have the actual crackers in there. Is that right? They're actually crackers.
Oyster
crackers. Man, that's wild.
Is that true?
They better not have no spaghetti in it.
I don't think they have spaghetti in it. I need to find out. So I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out the story behind.
Yeah, they were high, man. That's what it is. They're not gonna keep it. Somebody went to to one of the new shops. It was like, you know what? And then that person was working there, and it happened. They had the juice. Somebody higher up, man. Definitely a top 5 person in that company did that. It's high.
All right, I'm gonna grab breakfast with Mike, one of my guys. I'm gonna find out.
I'm telling you, man. Find out. Tell him to tell the truth. Don't give you a PC answer.
Oh, he won't. No, Mike.
He's gonna be like, yeah.
Mike can keep it real with me. Give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
All right, we're following up on that one.
I will have a report on the whole story of what listen. He'll give me the real. I'll find out what I can say on the pod. I'll tell you, I can't say off record. Deal?
All right, bet. Sound like a plan. I'm telling you, they woke up. It was one of these nights. They was kicking it. It was like, man.
You know what?
Cool? Yeah.
Man,
they had a little cheese.
Skyline ice cream sound about right now.
Yep. Boom. We here now.
The guys Neil would hang out with, like, they're all sitting around like, hey, Neil, what do you think about Skyline ice cream? And they're like, hey, good idea.
Whatever you want to do. Then boom, voila. It's out here, man. Hey, people eating it, man. Hey, get your money. I ain't tripping, but I'm just letting you know.
So for Bearcat fans listening to this podcast,
cookies, cream, something.
Drop a comment and review if you have had the Skyline ice cream.
Yeah, we need to find out about
let us know.
You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online DonahueAccountingService.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Go Bearcats.